just a teeny tiny speck in all this vast canyon.
Here we are in Grand Canyon National Park, getting ready to do a 5-day, 4-night hike from here. We are at the Tanner Trailhead at Lipan Point, and we are going to hike over to Grandview Point. This is the second time I've been to the canyon. The first time I was 13. My sister here, she was only 7, and just really excited to see one of God's most awesome creations, some of his artwork. So let's go.
But
Or consistently was. Say hello, Timmy. Hey. What we doing here? About 7.5 or 8 miles to go. Just came from up in there, down, and around, down here, and up. What do you think, Jamie? Yeah.
A lot of work, though.
Is it worth the work?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we finally made it to camp. We're at Tanner Beach, right on the Colorado River. Turn around here in a second. I'm going to show it to you. There it is. So beautiful. Let's go take a look. Morning, everybody. November 23rd. We are in the Grand Canyon. We camped last night at Tanner Beach. We got the river right behind us. It's a pretty beautiful campsite. As you can see, the sun's shining. It's going to be a bluebird day. And we got about 6 miles to go. It's going to be a pretty short day. We're just going to enjoy the canyon. We had a pretty rough day yesterday. I think we lost about 4,800 feet of elevation over 8.2 miles, and it was pretty rough going. Pretty epic views. Every bit of it was worth it. So worth it. All the work paid off for what we got to experience last night at this campsite. So yeah. Anything you want to say? You having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna get after it and get our camp packed up. Snow. Yeah, it's cool. Thanks. Good morning, everyone. It's November the 24th, and we are camped on the Colorado River again. Had a bit of an exciting day yesterday. We did not make our intended mileage. Had a little snafu with the map reading. Didn't notice some gradient lines, so we put in 5.5 miles, which really is not that much, but as it was, we ended up with a pretty epic campsite. You can see behind me the river. We're going to try and make up some mileage today, and yeah, just get back on track. We've got a pretty exciting day. The crux of our trip is ahead of us. The Papago rock slide. It's going to be pretty interesting. And also, there's going to be, for myself, a pretty interesting morning. So part of the reason of me doing this channel is I just want to encourage people to try things that they have never done before, and to get outside their comfort zone. And one thing for me that I'm uncomfortable with, I have an inexplicable fear of heights. It's not even something that I'm conscious of. It's not like I don't really know what it is. I struggle with it. I love the mountains, I love skiing, but every time I'm in really high exposed places, it really does something to me, and I really have to dig deep. But the reward is always, the payoff is always so worth it. And so I just want to encourage you to just try something, just anything that you say to yourself that you're fearful of, but you think deep down inside it might be awesome. So just get out there and try it. Coming up shortly, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So let's go. Quick little view of our last night digs. I'm going to turn you around, take you into camp. There it is, everybody doing their last minute camp chores. We got to climb that. Of course, it doesn't look very tall here. That's about 350 feet. I'll show you another view when we get there. Okay, so here's what I was mentioning earlier about stepping outside of your comfort zone. Whatever it is that you've told yourself in your mind you can't do, the only problem is between your ears. Say hi, Jamie.
Hi.
We could have taken another route. This one, in fact, shaves 0.3 of a mile off of our trek, which puts us in a better spot to make up the mileage we didn't make yesterday. So I'm thankful for this. There we go. Sure. So I lied about that little traverse earlier being the most scariest thing I've done yet, because it is way down there.
Nice place for a snack.
But what we just did was traverse that. And then we had some pretty serious exposure. We had the ledge walk pretty much all the way through here and up. And here we are.
Oops.
What do you think?
That was awesome.
Was it the highlight of the trip so far? Or just the most challenging? Or neither?
Most technically challenging,
Technically
probably.
I
challenging.
would agree with
Yeah.
that. It was intense.
Yeah.
I think we have more technically challenging coming up too.
Yeah.
Can't beat the view, though.
We got the crux of the trip yet to come.
Yeah.
So, yay to us. hard hike. Look at that view though. You gotta walk around this thing. Just walk. Hope this video comes out right. Got my MD32 on. I've been in the sunshine all day, but the darkness that I can. The stabilization. Is that the trail right there? Oh, we got a left walk. Down to the beach. Morning everyone, November 25th. Not much of a vlog this morning, a little crunch for time, but got to stay on the river again last night. We were about 12 and a half miles from being done, and we've got the hardest part of our journey yet. If you look behind me, right up here, we have to climb this 35-foot wall. So none of us are very experienced rock climbers, so it's gonna be fun. Yeah, we're gonna go up right here.
Starts getting easy.
Okay, we just got done with the Papago rock slide.
Watch out for this.
If you're wanting a good challenge, this is it. So we had to do the class 5 climb this morning, the 35 footer. Then we had to climb, basically just height climb the next 300 feet to the top of this, and then all the way from right there. It was yeah, really can't even show you exactly where we came down, but it was hand over fist. I'm saying that took us 45 minutes. So my recommendation, if anybody's going to do this route, do not go west to east. I'm sure people have done this, but on the backside where we had to do the climb, coming down that would be pretty daunting if you're not experienced. So yeah, it's a challenge, but not impossible. So if you got a little bit of experience with hiking and wilderness and rocks, and you can do it. We did it, you can do it. So, all right, let's go. One last little shot of the river. It's time to make our way up. The goal is just about in sight. What do you think, guys?
Sad to say goodbye to the river.
Yeah, it's been one. We'll be back. Making our way up Grandview Trail. On our way out Thanksgiving morning, and it's a heck of a climb. And we just got to some old mining stuff. I don't know what you call it, but also an old mine itself. So this is pretty cool. National Park Service says all mines are closed, so we won't go in there. Anyway. Finally made it to Horseshoe Mesa, so we're about almost halfway out of the canyon for today. Take a little look around. It's a real sketchy hike. What's your reward is that? Okay, we're getting near the end. This is our reward though. View after view after view. Looks like an old 50s movie, Western, spaghetti Western, painted backdrop. Doesn't even look real. Hello everyone. This is our recap of our latest backpacking adventure. We did a 5-day, 4-night in Grand Canyon National Park. We started on November 22nd and ended November 26th, Thanksgiving Day. It was a pretty steep adventure. We had a lot of good times. We learned a lot of things. We made a few mistakes. I'll go over, gonna go over one of those mistakes in a little bit. It was a little boneheaded map reading error that if I can share it with you, maybe I can prevent you from doing it in the future. This was one of the rougher trips we've ever done. We can't really pinpoint why. You know, the first day, no matter which trail you choose in the canyon, your first couple of miles, they're going to be rough. So just the natural terrain of the canyon, it's a sheer wall for the first 2 miles basically, and that's the same for when you come out of the canyon. So you're gonna have undulating terrain, but it's gonna be really steep. Then you're gonna have a flat section, and then it's gonna be really steep again until you get to the river. But beyond that, just broken ground. The trails are not really maintained a whole lot by the National Park Service, but there's no shortage of cairns that people have left, and a seeking eye is going to find them, so you shouldn't have too much problem. I recommend doing this route from east to west. I would not recommend going west to east. I'm sure it can be done.
I think what made this trip really hard was the fact that the first day was like we didn't break it up. Some people break it up and camp halfway down. We did the whole route down in one day, so it was 9 miles, just constant really rough terrain. And it was hard on the bones and joints, and your muscles had to work a lot harder going down for some reason. But I just think that the trip it seemed harder because our muscles had to work so hard the first day. I'm glad that we did it all on the first day.
Pretty nice campsite.
Yeah, because it was nice to get down to water. We didn't have to worry about, refilling on water or not having water halfway down. It was just rough, and I think that made it a little bit harder on our bodies through the whole trip.
You start out with your heaviest pack.
Yeah, you start
downhill.
Yep. Yeah. But I think another thing that made it really hard was just constant obstacles, not really knowing what to expect. Like you studied the route and you kind of knew what to expect, but we didn't know the full extent of what to expect.
Sure.
So it definitely pushed us way outside of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more than, and I think we're pretty experienced backpackers. I mean,
It's a fair statement.
yeah, I'm newish at it, but we've done it enough that I don't think that I wouldn't say we're amateurs. We know what we're doing. So for an experienced backpacker, this was definitely a hard trip, but it was also really worth it to push ourselves in that way and see what we were made of.
Yeah.
A lot of it's mental. You don't know what you're made of until you get out there and just experience that.
Yeah.
And I think that your strength grows mentally and physically when you push yourself like that. Physically, when you do more than what you're used to, and then also mentally when you encounter those obstacles that you're not used to and you don't realize what you're capable of doing.
Your first reaction is to think, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's too hard.
Yeah. But when you accomplish it, it just kind of catapults you. It's like it gives you the momentum to keep going. And each obstacle, it's all challenging, but the next obstacle isn't so bad because you realize, like, you look back on what you've done and you know that you can do it again.
Mm-hmm. So what has all that done for you? For your courage and for your... What do you want to do now?
Well, I want to plan our next backpacking trip. I definitely want to make sure our next trip is... It's going to be hard to top the trip that we just did, but it keeps me from going to the safe zone. I'm definitely looking for the next challenge. I think also throughout the whole trip was just a major adrenaline rush. I don't even know if I ever came down from my adrenaline rush through the trip. Yeah. And it's addicting. It really is. It propels you into the next risk-taking adventure. So I am excited and I'm encouraged and inspired to plan the next trip and make it exciting and adventurous.
And I'm excited to see you do it.
For anyone out there that has thought about backpacking and maybe you're afraid of trying it because it's so different, it's so new, I would say just get out there and do it, but definitely make sure you're prepared physically.
Start small.
Yeah, start small.
Do an overnight.
Make sure you're prepared physically because it takes a beating on your body.
Not damaging, just it's hard. It's taxing.
Yeah, it's definitely, you definitely need to have some physical endurance.
Okay, great. So our backpacking trip into the Grand Canyon is done. It was a success. We're tired, we're wasted, we're excited, but just a little discussion about why it's important to wear proper footwear, properly fitting footwear, all of the above. We're going to take a little look at my sister's feet and what bad footwear will do to them. If you're squeamish, don't look. Let's look at these little piggies. Show them to us and explain it one by one.
Oh, so we got a nice blister here on this toe.
Oh.
On the edge, you can see from the bottom that it just got squished with my toes.
Oh.
And we got a nice blister here on the top of my big toe. But then another squish blister.
That toe right there has its own toe.
Sure does.
Oof.
Got a nice blister here.
We're getting to the good part.
Nice squishy one. Didn't pop that one. We got a nice, another squish blister in there. I think I might have another blister on one of these toes right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the grand finale.
Oh, that's a dandy right there. I hope you don't lose that toe.
When you don't have enough room for your feet and your boots and you got a 40-pound pack, ladies and gentlemen, that's what happens.
But nevertheless, she's a trooper. She made it all the way out of the canyon, never even winced. So make sure your footwear is proper for your feet. One more quick little discussion from me about footwear and proper footwear. Over the past couple of years, I've been making the transition away from your traditional footwear, hiking boots, or even trail runners, what you would consider comfortable shoes with a big stack height and a lot of padding. I believe that traditional footwear is the culprit for a lot of problems that we have with knee pain, foot pain, back pain, and all of the above. And so my first transition was to go to a zero drop shoe. I hiked a couple years with the Ultra Lone Peaks, and I really enjoyed those. They were great. The zero drop I knew right away was for me. And I knew that I wanted to transition to more of a barefoot style of hiking, and so I stumbled across a shoe called Zero Shoe. That's these guys right here. And if you can see it, they're not much padding. It's just a 1/4 inch thick piece of rubber. And yeah, they're next best thing to barefoot. They protect your shoe, they protect your foot from you know, sharp objects or whatever, but there's no support of any kind, there's no padding, and it lets your foot really do what your foot is intended to do. You can kind of get an idea of how much shoe there actually is there. It's they're called Zero Shoe. This isn't a paid advertisement, of course, but yeah, they're a great shoe. They held up reasonably well, and I'm happy with them. Out of all the trips I've ever done, I experienced the least amount of foot pain, no blisters, no hot spots. I typically get a little IT band inflammation, and I got that this time as well. That's more of a gait issue and favoring a particular leg. But as far as my feet go, I'm super happy with these, and I don't believe I'll ever go back to a traditional style of shoe. Okay, so the mistake we made, our journey consisted of starting right here at Lipman Point, and we hiked all the way down the trail, and we camped down here at Tanner Beach, which was about 8.4 miles. Our intended second day campsite was going to be about right here. That would have given us 6 miles between here and here. Now, to save on energy expenditure, just not wanting to carry a bunch of extra weight, we intended to not fill up our water right here in the morning, but hike 3 miles over to about here and fill up. Actually, it's more like about right here. There's a little side trail that goes right down that creek. We were going to fill up water right there. Well, we did a little side hike up into a canyon, little slot canyon up through here. And then when we were done, we pulled out All Trails, and we decided that All Trails showing us, I don't know if you can see it, but right here, there's a side trail that also cuts over to the river. So there was a last minute decision made to, hey, let's cut off another mile. Instead of getting water right there, let's get water right here. We were all in agreement, and so that's where we headed off to. In our haste, you know, this is not showing at all on All Trails. I intended, like I said, to get water right here. In our haste, we didn't look at the fact that there's all these gradient lines right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. All these gradient lines. That's a 300-foot cliff. So, yeah, we got to there and realized that there was no possible way to get water. We knew we had to go back. So, yeah, heading back to this spot right here was the only option to get water. And that's also where we ended up camping for night number 2, which put us 3 miles behind. So after that, we continued on our trek on the Escalante Route. Over here, follow the trail in, down into the canyon at this point, out and around. And we camped about right here on night number 3. That's also where the Papago rock slide and wall is. And then continued on the Escalante route right here, the Tonto Trail, where we picked that up. Walked the Tonto Trail all the way up to Horseshoe Mesa to where we call it Grandview Trail. And then Grandview Trail is where we exited the canyon.